Search is everywhere. The question is, are you showing up? This is Search as a Channel.
59% of a fresh TikTok For You feed is now like just AI slop.
Nearly 60%. That is, it's wild.
It really is. And, if that isn't shocking enough for you, MIT researchers have just declared that the absolute golden rule of the internet, this idea that great content is all you need, is officially a dead strategy.
Completely dead.
So the rules of the web haven't just shifted a little bit. They have completely broken down and been rewritten in just the last 18 months.
Yeah, we're in a whole new world now.
Exactly. So welcome to a custom-tailored deep dive designed specifically for you. Our mission today is to figure out how to make sure you, your brand and your business actually get found. And I guess more importantly, understood in this totally chaotic new era of AI search.
It is a phenomenal time to be digging into this because we are looking at a fundamental structural shift in how human knowledge is processed, ranked, and delivered to users all across the globe.
Right. And to guide us through this maze, we've pulled together a really fascinating stack of materials for you. We're looking closely at insights from Steve Toth's AI Notebook, which, if you don't know, is a highly regarded strategy newsletter dedicated entirely to LLM optimization.
It's an essential read right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also pulling from some late June 2026 dispatches from Search Engine Journal, or CJ, along with the latest intelligence from the CFOMO weekly newsletter.
And honestly, it is the perfect combination of sources for this issue. It covers the theoretical shifts in the tech, the real-world data of what's happening this very week, and which I love, a highly practical strategic playbook for what you actually need to do to adapt your digital presence.
Okay, let's unpack this because that MIT headline from the SCJ dispatch actually stopped me in my tracks.
Right.
Yeah. For over a decade, the absolute golden rule for anyone building a business online has been content is king. Write the best blog post, shoot the best video, just be the most informative, and you will win.
That was the gospel.
Right. But now, MIT is saying that approach is essentially useless for SEO strategy. And we pair that with this Kaplan test revealing that TikTok is flooded with AI-generated garbage at 3 times the rate of YouTube.
What's fascinating here is the causality behind those two data points, There are symptoms of the exact same technological shift. We are rapidly moving away from a world of search and into a world of answers.
Okay, wait, break that down for us.
Sure. So think about how search engines functioned for the last 20 years. They were essentially highly efficient librarians. You asked a question, and they gave you a list of 10 Lou links, basically, 10 books to go read. And in that librarian paradigm, creating great content was how you proved to the system that you were the best book on the shelf.
Right. You wanted the librarian to point to your book.
Exactly. But AI doesn't want to hand you a book at all. It wants to read all the books, synthesize the choices, compress all that raw information, and just give the user the final definitive answer.
Oh, wow. So it's completely cutting out the middleman.
It is. And the mechanics of this are crucial to understand. An AI agent doesn't pull up a web page and read it the way you or I do. It ingests vast amounts of data, breaks it down into mathematical relationships, and generates an answer based on probability.
So just being mentioned somewhere isn't enough.
Not anymore. Because the AI is doing all the synthesizing and compressing on behalf of the user, a mere mention of your brand in a great piece of content just doesn't cut it. The AI needs to actually understand you. It needs to calculate precisely what you are, not just recognize that your name exists on a page.
Which brings us to the death of the old SEO playbook. Because, if the internet is flooding with all that low-effort, AI-generated slop we just talked about, search engines are desperately changing how they rank information to filter out the noise.
Yeah, they have to.
Right, and that means the traditional methods of getting noticed are spectacularly failing.
It is a complete paradigm shift.
Right.
And there is a deeply poignant detail in the SCJ dispatches that really underscores this transition. Bruce Clay, who...
Oh, yeah, the pioneer of SEO.
Yeah, exactly. He is widely considered one of the founding figures of search engine optimization. Well, he recently passed away. He was the guy who invented the concept of content siloing.
And for anyone who doesn't know, that's the structural idea of organizing a website's pages into distinct categories to prove topical authority to a search algorithm, right?
It's right.
The timing of his passing in late June 2026 feels almost eerie. Like he passed away just as the very industry he helped build from the ground up is transforming into something almost unrecognizable.
It really is wild timing. His contributions built the foundation for how we've organized the web for decades.
Yeah, and that old playbook was all about building broad awareness. You wanted your brand name mentioned anywhere and everywhere you could get it. You get a backlink here, a guest post there, some random directory listing over there.
Just shotgun approach.
Right. The goal was simply to let the search algorithms see your name popping up frequently and assume, hey, these guys must be important.
But the SCJ sources show that Google is cracking down on that old architecture with incredible force right now. They are currently rolling out these aggressive new June 2026 spam updates.
And the critical detail here is that the enforcement of these updates now reaches straight into AI answers, right?
Exactly. They aren't just filtering out bad links in the traditional search results anymore. They are actively policing the data streams that feed how AI models generate their conversational summaries.
And of course, whenever the old tactics stop working, people panic and look for a shortcut.
Always.
Yeah. The SCJ News highlights one of the wildest specifics of this new era. Marketers are now literally buying Reddit to win AI citations.
Yep.
The digital marketing industry is actually calling Reddit the new link farm.
Which is crazy, but the underlying mechanism driving that behavior is entirely about how large language models are trained. AI models require massive amounts of human conversational data to sound human. But more importantly, they use that conversational data to gauge actual human consensus. A language model evaluates the statistical weight of words.
So when real people on a forum are debating, like, the best software tool, and there is a consensus that emerges through upvotes and repeated recommendations, the AI model assigns a high mathematical value to that relationship.
Spot on.
The Reddit CEO even explicitly stated it on the record, which kind of blew my mind. He said that LLMs, quote, would not exist without Reddit data.
Yeah, that was a huge moment.
He actually refers to user-generated community content as the modern oil for artificial intelligence.
And marketers understand that dynamic. They see that AI agents are increasingly pulling their final answers directly from Reddit threads. But instead of, genuinely participating in those communities and building real advocacy, they're trying to manipulate the data stream.
By buying aged Reddit accounts and faking upvotes.
Exactly. They inject their brand names into comment threads, hoping the AI model scrapes that interaction and weighs it as a genuine human recommendation.
If I can offer an analogy here for you listening, the old era of SEO was a lot like walking into a crowded party and just shouting your name at the top of your lungs, hoping someone remembers you the next day. I'm brand X. I'm brand X.
Just making as much noise as possible.
Right. You just wanted to be the loudest.
Yeah.
But this new AI search environment is entirely different. It is like approaching a very strict, highly analytical bouncer at an exclusive club. You can't just shout your name at this bouncer.
No, they don't care about your volume.
Right. You have to hand them a highly detailed, perfectly verified resume that explains exactly who you are, what you do, who you serve, and why you belong inside.
The bouncer only cares about verifiable, structured facts.
But wait, I have to push back on something here. I'm looking at another headline from the SEJ Dispatch that says Google is officially advising publishers that they simply need to make content people actually want to read.
Ah, yes.
So Google's official stance is, hey, just make good, helpful stuff for humans. Why are marketing teams desperately buying fake Reddit citations to trick the machines?
Because there's a massive disconnect between Google's idealized public advice and the harsh reality of how these mathematical models currently behave in the wild. The desperation to buy Reddit links comes from a profound lack of control.
What do you mean?
Well, marketers know that AI agents are looking heavily at community signals to figure out what is real, but doing the slow, meticulous work of building actual machine-readable clarity around a brand is really difficult. It requires discipline.
So they take the easy way out.
Exactly. So instead, they try to engineer a fake mention. They are trying to cheat the human consensus model rather than building what Steve Toth's newsletter calls semantic triples.
Okay, so if spamming fake Reddit links is a dead end and flooding the web with mass-produced content actually hurts your visibility, which, by the way, Jay explicitly notes is now counterproductive to modern SEO, how are we supposed to feed these machines what they actually want?
We have to stop thinking about how a human reader experiences a web page and start thinking about how a machine extracts a fact from a database. This is where Steve Toth's concept of the semantic triple becomes the absolute foundation of the new playbook.
I'm looking at Toth's explanation of the semantic triple concept, and honestly, it looks suspiciously like basic middle school grammar. It's literally just a subject, a predicate, and an object.
It does look like that, yeah.
Is that really the secret to rewiring how an AI perceives you?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is very easy to dismiss it as just a basic sentence from a human perspective. We read a subject-verb-object sentence and say, yes, that is a simple fact. But to an AI model, that structure is something entirely different. It is structured entity infrastructure.
Machine readability.
Exactly. It is entirely about machine readability.
Let's ground this with the specific examples from the text for a second. Let's say you have a software company called Brand X. A semantic triple would look like this. Brand X is a B2B analytics platform, or Brand X serves e-commerce teams. Brand X integrates with Shopify. Brand X is headquartered in Austin. I mean, it is incredibly dry.
It is dry, but contrast that simple dry triple with traditional marketing copy, which might say something like, Brand X is revolutionizing the digital landscape with synergistic next-generation insights for tomorrow's boldest creators.
Ugh, classic marketing speak.
Right, a human might think that sounds impressive in a glossy brochure. But to a machine, it means absolutely nothing. It is just noise.
So a simple mention tells the machine your name exists, but a semantic triple tells the machine what you actually are.
We have to look at how large language models actually process this information using vector databases.
Vector databases.
Yeah, when an AI reads the web, it doesn't store sentences. It converts concepts into numbers vectors and maps them in a massive multidimensional space.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So if you constantly publish flowery, vague marketing copy, your brand's vector coordinates are fuzzy. The AI doesn't know where to place you on the map. But a semantic triple-like Brand X integrates with Shopify, creates a hard mathematical link between your entity and the Shopify entity.
It physically pulls your brand closer to the user's query in the AI's mathematical space.
Precisely. They do not reward vague brand presence or clever copywriting. They reward machine confidence.
Machine confidence, I like that.
Yeah, and machine confidence only comes from repeated, consistent, and cleanly structured facts. If an AI model sees the exact same semantic triple again, Brand X integrates with Shopify on 10 different highly trusted websites, its mathematical confidence in that specific fact approaches 100%.
So when a user asks an AI agent for a Shopify analytics tool, the model doesn't just guess.
No, it retrieves the entity it has the highest mathematical confidence in.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Now that we know AI requires these consistent semantic triples to build confidence, what happens when a brand's digital footprint is a messy, contradictory disaster?
This is the scary part. The sources highlight a very uncomfortable truth about modern digital strategy. Most marketing teams wrongly assume that their website's homepage is doing all the heavy lifting for their brand identity.
Right. They assume the AI just goes to their URL, reads the hero text, and understands them.
Exactly. They will spend months and sometimes tens of thousands of dollars endlessly tweaking a single headline on their homepage.
But in reality, an AI system is pulling facts from everywhere simultaneously, right?
Everywhere. It is scraping your LinkedIn company page, your Crunchbase profile, software review sites like G2 and Capterra, obscure industry directory listings, and years of old press coverage.
To illustrate just how dangerous it is to rely solely on your homepage, there's a terrifying statistic from the SEJ data. They analyzed a study of 274 fintech homepages. And fintech is an industry that is usually highly sophisticated with their tech stack.
Oh, absolutely.
The study showed that a full 1/3 of those homepages are completely invisible to AI agents simply because they skip the rendering step.
That is a staggering blind spot for a tech-forward industry.
It really is, and we need to explain exactly what that means for you listening because it is a crucial technical hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of modern websites are built on complex JavaScript to make them look beautiful and interactive. But when an AI bot crawls the web, it is trying to process billions of pages as quickly as possible. It often just grabs the raw underlying HTML code to save time and computing power.
It just doesn't have the time to wait.
Right. It doesn't wait around for the visual elements and the JavaScript text to actually render on the screen the way your Chrome browser does. So if your core facts are trapped inside that complex design, the AI bot essentially sees a blank page. You are invisible.
Which means the AI is forced to build its understanding of your company entirely from your off-site footprint.
Think about it like this. It is like having a dating profile where your bio explicitly says you are a strict vegan, but then you link your Instagram account and your last 5 photos are of you eating a massive steak.
That's a great way to put it.
The AI model is the person looking at your profile. It sees the bio, looks at the Instagram, it maps the glaring contradiction, gets totally confused about who you actually are, and just swipes left.
That analogy perfectly captures the mechanism of AI rejection. An AI model isn't going to call your sales team to clarify a discrepancy.
Right.
If your website says you serve enterprise clients, but your LinkedIn says you are a tool for small businesses and your G2 profile is completely blank, the model has conflicting vector coordinates. It has to guess.
And an AI model forced to guess is a model that is going to drop you entirely.
Without a second thought, it will simply filter you out and recommend a competitor who has cleaner, more consistent entity signals. The AI prioritizes its own mathematical confidence over your brand's legacy or reputation. If the competitor's facts are easier to parse, they win the recommendation.
Okay, so knowing all of this, knowing that AI actively penalizes contradictions and mathematically rewards structural clarity, how do you actually fix this mess across the internet? Let's dive into the new AI era playbook for you to implement right now.
Steve Toth lays out a highly practical framework in the AI Notebook for tackling this systematically. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the entire internet, he suggests separating off-site brand mentions into 3 distinct layers of control.
Basically, you have to triage the web.
Exactly.
First, you have the platforms you fully control and can edit directly. Second, you have community-driven spaces where you can exert influence but don't have total control. And third, you have purely editorial spaces, like major news publications, which are totally out of your hands.
Grouping them this way is brilliant because it tells you exactly where to spend your energy for immediate ROI. But the playbook starts before you even log into a single website.
Right, the core facts.
Yes. First, you have to define your core facts. You need a centralized document that explicitly states your semantic triples.
So you're documenting what you are, who you serve, the category you belong to, your software integrations, your physical location, and your specific differentiators. And, as the newsletter emphasizes, this exercise is not copywriting. You are building entity infrastructure.
Step 2 is taking that foundational document and executing a massive audit of your editable footprint, that first layer of control. You go to Crunchbase, LinkedIn, Capterra, Trustpilot, wherever you have a profile, and you ruthlessly rewrite all of them purely for factual consistency.
So no more flowery language.
None. The sources make a critical point here. The goal is no longer to sound clever. The goal is to be effortlessly extractable. You want a machine to be able to pull your data without friction.
And step 3 is where I think a lot of companies are really going to struggle. This cannot be delegated to one junior employee. This must be a cross-functional responsibility. The sources emphasize that SEO, PR, brand, and product marketing teams have to stop working in isolated silos.
The silos are what caused the contradiction gap in the first place.
Yeah.
If the PR team is pushing flowery, narrative-driven language for humans, and the SEO team is stuffing old keywords, and the product marketing team is using highly technical jargon, the AI reads all 3. It receives conflicting coordinates, and its confidence score plummets.
So what does this all mean in the real world? Because I have to challenge this playbook a bit.
Go for it.
It sounds great on a whiteboard to say we need to be cross-functional and focus on entity infrastructure. But in reality, if an agency client is paying top dollar for PR and brand awareness, isn't it an incredibly hard sell to sit them down and say, hey, instead of getting you a massive feature in Forbes this month, we're going to spend 20 hours rewriting your Crunchbase profile so a robot can read it?
I get that. This raises an important question about how we measure value in marketing today. Yes, it is a difficult conversation if the client is still living in the old search paradigm. But look at the commercial consequences outlined in the newsletter.
Okay.
If you invest heavily in a massive digital PR campaign, you get the Forbes feature, you get all the awareness, but the AI intermediary still cannot reliably understand what your product actually does because your foundational profiles are a mess, then the entire value chain is broken.
Because when the user goes to the AI agent and says, find me software like the one I just read about in Forbes, the AI can't connect the dots between the article and your actual capabilities.
Exactly. The highest leverage mentions are no longer just the most famous publications. The highest leverage mentions are now the ones where you can improve the factual layer yourself.
Wow.
Ensuring that the AI has absolute mathematical confidence in who you are is the prerequisite for that Forbes article actually converting into a recommendation.
That is a massive perspective shift. So to bring this all home for you listening right now, we are no longer trying to win a popularity contest of keyword mentions. That era is officially over. Instead, we're trying to win a game of absolute clarity. You need to transition your brand from just being seen by an algorithm to actually being understood by an artificial intelligence.
It's all about clarity now, and as you embark on that transition, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, building directly on something we saw in the SEJ reports.
Oh, by the autonomous agents.
Yes. They noted that models like Google Gemini are getting so advanced that they can now actually control computers and act as autonomous agents on our behalf.
Which hackers are already targeting, but that is a deep dive for another day.
Very true. But think about the market implications of an autonomous AI agent acting on behalf of a buyer. What happens when AI eventually compresses an entire market down to just one single recommendation?
Just one.
If you and your biggest competitor realize all of this today, and you both execute this playbook perfectly, achieving the exact same level of semantic clarity across the web, what is the tiebreaker? When the machine understands both of you perfectly, what is the final human element that makes the AI choose you to hand to the user?
That is the million-dollar question for the next era of the internet. If you are listening to this, don't wait. Go audit your own digital footprint, your LinkedIn, your Crunchbase, your website rendering right now. Make sure you aren't just shouting your name in a crowded room, but rather handing that bouncer the perfect verified resume. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening. And don't forget to subscribe.